Okay, so we begin the course with a short discussion of power and energy in electric circuits, which is discussed in chapter 1 of the book. This is the only thing we'll discuss from chapter 1 of the book. So let us say we have a circuit element, something, and we know that the voltage across that circuit element is V of t, where t is time, and the current flowing is I of t. Then we know that the power in the circuit is P of t equal to the voltage times the current. So the question is this power consumed by the circuit element or is this power delivered by the circuit element? So let's look at an example. Let us say we have a 12 volt battery supplying current to a 0.12 ohm resistor. This is a very small resistor. I'll tell you in a minute why. So the current flowing in the circuit is 12 volts by 0.12 ohms, which is 100 amperes. So now we know that the power consumed by the resistor is 12 volts times 100 amperes, so 1200 watts. And of course the power supplied by the voltage source has to be the same, 1200 watts voltage times current. Now if you look at the polarities, we see that I in this circuit is positive, 100 amp positive, and we see that VR times I is positive, which means that with this convention the resistor absorbs power. So what is a convention? The convention is when the current is flowing into the positive voltage terminal of the circuit element, then the power is absorbed. If the current is flowing out of the positive terminal, that power will be delivered. Okay, so therefore we define what is called as a passive convention, which is that we'll always represent current going into the plus terminal of the circuit element to be positive. This is a convention. We can define it either way. This is what we define. With this convention, the power, if the power is greater than 0, it is consumed, and if it is less than 0, it is delivered. Alright, what is the energy? Energy is power times time. So the book calls energy as W. Suppose the time interval we are looking at is 2 seconds. Then in that 2 seconds, that 12 volt battery delivers how much? 1200 watts times 2 seconds, or 2400 joules to the resistor. Okay, now why did I take these specific numbers? So this is typical of a car battery when you are starting the car. When you start the car, the battery, of course, as you know, of a car is 12 volts. And when one starts the car consumes about 100 amperes of current. So the whole machinery of the car can be represented by an equivalent resistance of 0.12 ohms. And assuming that the car takes about 2 seconds to start, then the energy delivered by the battery is 2400 joules. Alright, let's think of a smartphone battery. Do you know what is the voltage of your smartphone battery? If you don't, you should look it up. It's a good general knowledge to know. It generally is between 3 and 5 volts. So I'm taking a value of 4 volts just for convenience. And you know that the capacity of the battery is specified in something called as milliampere hours. It varies from about 2500 milliampere hours to about 8000 milliampere hours. Of course, you'll agree that 4000 milliampere hours is equal to 4 ampere hours. So the question I'm asking is, what is the actual energy stored in this battery when it is fully charged, when the whole 4,000 milliampere hours is available? What is the energy stored? So it's actually obvious from these units, right? So this is voltage, this is current, and this is time. And energy is voltage times current, which is power times time. So we say the energy stored in a fully charged battery with these specifications is 4 volts times 4 ampere hours. which is 16 volt ampere hours. Volt ampere is watt, and 1 hour is 3600 seconds. So the battery stores 57,600 joules, which is of course a very large number. What this is telling us is that the joule is actually a small unit of energy. What this is also telling us is that this battery can supply 4 amperes of current for 1 hour of operation. So if the application one is using needs 4 amperes, the battery lasts for 1 hour. And if the application needs say 200 milliamperes, then this battery will last for 20 hours. Okay. And the next question we ask is, what if the current and voltage in a circuit are not constant, they are functions of time? So let us briefly look at this circuit. We are going to discuss this circuit in detail after about a month. I probably have already seen this circuit, but right now I just want to calculate the power. So this is a circuit, and we are told that for some time t greater than 0, the current I in this circuit is given by V0 by R exponential minus t by RC. If the current is this, the voltage across the resistor of course is simply I times R, so we get VR equal to this, and the voltage across the capacitor we can also find as the voltage across the resistor, well, V0 minus the voltage across the resistor. That turns out to be this. Now the question I want to ask is, what is the energy received by the capacitor from time t equal to 0 to time t equal to infinity? So energy is power times time. So first we find the power. So the power delivered to the capacitor is the voltage across the capacitor times the current. The current is flowing into the positive terminal. So this is the power delivered to the capacitor, and we write out Vc and I. So we get this expression. What is the energy? How do we find the energy given the power? And given that this is a function of time. So what we have to do is we have to integrate this quantity from t equal to 0 to t equal to infinity. So we said energy delivered to the capacitor is integral 0 to infinity p dt, and that turns out to be this, and I am leaving for you to integrate this, which is very straightforward. So if you do this, you'll find that the energy delivered to the capacitor is half C V naught squared, where V naught is the voltage source voltage. Similarly, you can do the same exercise for the resistor, and you will find, and you must do this as homework, that the resistor also absorbs half C V naught squared of energy from t equal to 0 to infinity. Where do these energies go? The capacitor is being delivered energy, the resistor is being delivered energy. Where do these go? Do you know? Of course you can't answer, but the resistor converts this energy to heat, and the heat is radiated and dissipated by the resistor. The capacitor, on the other hand, stores this energy and keeps it, and at some later point of time it may deliver it back to the circuit when the circuit conditions change. So one could think of these real life systems that use electricity, and one could think of how these all these systems use up electrical energy. So a light, a tube light, would convert electrical energy to light. A fan would convert electrical energy to mechanical energy and make the fan rotate, and of course that rotation requires energy because it is acting against the friction of the air. What does a refrigerator do to the energy? A refrigerator actually is a very complex thermodynamical system, but in brief, the electrical energy is used to cool down the air inside the fridge. How it is done is very complicated. What does a computer do with the energy? The computer uses the energy to do what perform operations that do various kinds of things, such as this video or calculations, programs, etc., etc. But where does the energy go? Eventually, the energy goes either in lighting up the screen or inside the chips in driving currents through millions and billions of transistors, and therefore eventually is converted to heat. What about the internet? Internet requires energy. How is this energy used? The energy is actually used to transmit small packets of information from one place to another. Again, eventually the energy ends up as heat. Alright, this is the end of the first lecture.